All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing out there? So there is a lot that happened in this interview, and instead of me just doing quote for quotes because so much took place, I'm gonna just tell you guys to watch the interview, and I'm gonna try to give y'all a brief synopsis of what I took from Mike Epps' interview with the Breakfast Club this morning, and kind of just catch you guys up and let y'all check the interview out if y'all want more. So obviously Mike Epps was asked about Kevin Hart. As a matter of fact, that was the first thing I asked him about. Kev Hart and Mike Epps have kind of had this ongoing feud for years now. It seems like Mike Epps doesn't care for Kevin Hart, and it seems like Kev is always responding to something Mike Epps said. That's just how I take it. But it kind of hit the fan a couple weeks ago. While Kevin was beefing with Cat a little bit, he was also having an exchange with Mike Epps, and pretty much Kevin Hart called Mike Epps bitter at the end of it. Now, during this Breakfast Club interview, Mike Epps made it clear he thought Kevin Hart was being a tad bit sensitive. He's like, just because you're at the top of the world as a comedian, you act like people can't speak on your craft. You act like people can't give their opinion. And Mike Epps just believes that Kevin Hart gets entirely too sensitive when people say he's not funny and this and that. Now, I agree. I agree with Mike in that regard. It does feel like when certain people speak on Kev Hart and say he's not funny, it does feel like he gets a tad bit personal with certain comedians like Mike Epps. When Mike Epps says something, it gets personal, right? Now, to be fair to Kev Hart, y'all talk about Kev and his craft because he's atop the comedian world a lot more than y'all do anyone else. There are a lot of comedians out there that are not funny, but because they're not doing it at an elite level, and to be honest, if we're talking about comedy, Kev Hart is the biggest comedian in regards to making money that we ever seen. I'm not saying he's the funniest. I'm just saying when it's all said and done, he, as a comedian, he will make more money than any other comedian doing it when it's all said and done. I believe that dude's on pace to be a billionaire from making jokes, all right? And running a business that pretty much centers around making jokes. That's pretty successful. I do believe people come at Kev Hart a lot more. Now, I was listening to Mike Epps talk during the Breakfast Club interview. I'll be honest with you, a lot of what he was saying didn't make a lot of sense. It's this conversation he had about gatekeepers. And he believes, and he did not use Kevin Hart's name, said he wasn't going to do that, but he believes guys like Kevin Hart are gatekeeping comedy or just gatekeeping television, right? And he believes Kev Hart has gotten into a position and now he's forgetting where he came from. He's treating other black peers like crap. And he believes that though Kev Hart is saying the right things on camera, behind the scenes, he's actually a gatekeeper. As a matter of fact, the analogy that Mike Epps used, I remembered it. He was like, right now, Mike seems like the person who's across the street with an 8-ball, and Kev Hart's the guy that's on the porch with 100 kilos. He's like, everybody's going to believe the guy with 100 kilos or look up to the guy with 100 kilos because that guy possesses all the power, and the guy across the street with the 8-ball, which in this reference, Mike Epps is saying he's the guy with the 8-ball because he doesn't have as much money or power as Kev. He says people going to look at him like the hater because he doesn't have the rock right now, essentially what he's saying. And I think I got what he was trying to say. He's pretty much insinuating that behind the scenes, Kev Hart is calling shots, getting people that he wants into the business and making sure people that he doesn't want in the business, making sure they don't get into the business. Him, and I'm guessing he's talking about Will Packers. Well, he didn't say him by name. That's just me assuming. Will Packers is another guy in position. And he believes Kev Hart is coming on camera and saying the right things, but behind the scenes, they are ostracizing people from the business. Now, I've never heard a story like that outside of what Mike Epps is saying about Kev Hart. He seems like a very helpful dude to me. I can name a few people that have been tied to Kev Hart who have been very successful. Hell, one of the biggest females right now is Tiffany Haddish. She's directly under the Kevin Hart lineage, right? And like it is what it is. Hell, Woody McClain was once signed. The guy who played Bobby Brown in the Bobby Brown story was once signed under Kevin Hart. I found that out when I interviewed him recently. I don't know that to be true, but Mike Epps is very passionate about it, and he didn't want to use any names because he said what he doesn't want to do is make his situation worse, by not getting more opportunities by using Kev Hart's name in that interview. So he did not use Kev Hart's name in that interview. Mike Epps got a lot of projects on the way as well. He's producing a film with Will Smith, so I'm excited to see that. But in regards to Kev Hart, as this feud continues, he claims that Kev Hart behind the scenes is stopping people's bags. I don't know if I could believe that, because Kev Hart has helped a crap ton of people, man. He's put a lot of people in positions of power. I don't know if I believe that one, but I'm asking you guys. Thought it was a great debate question. Mike Epps believes Kev Hart is what you call a gatekeeper and stopping people's bags behind the scenes and just saying the right things in front of the camera. Now, do you believe him? Or do you look at it like, no, we've seen Kev Hart come from the bottom, and comedians are just hating on him because I'm not having a funny conversation. I'm just having a conversation of who's making the most money right now. A lot of people are hating on Kev because Kev was once the little brother, figuratively and literally, right? And now all of a sudden he surpassed all these comedians by far. He's a worldwide comedian now, getting opportunity after opportunity. Got his own networks, making his own production companies, all that stuff. Now it looks like Kev Hart is on his way to being a global superstar, if not already. And he's getting the hatred because comedians are mad that he passed him. What y'all think? Y'all talk to me in the comment box below. Who's right? Who's wrong? Mike Epps does an interview with The Breakfast Club, and he keeps it all the way honest about Kev Hart without even saying his name. Whose side you on? Talk to me in the comment box below. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yeah, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO. Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.